Really excited to tell you guys about our new book. It's called Do More, Worry Less. What's that all about? What does that mean? What's in the book? Let's discuss that now. So the whole premise of Do More, Worry Less is that there are small steps that you can take to reduce your anxiety. And just by making these small lifestyle changes, we can actually get big results. So is this an alternative to, say, medication or therapy? No, not really, but it is something that can run alongside that, because everyone's on the bandwagon of healthy living, right? We all know that going out and exercising and eating better really makes a difference in our physical health. But what I think is missed a lot of the time is that this stuff really has a massive impact on our mental health as well. And it's not just me saying this, there are a lot of the top medical journals, top universities are all coming out with new studies showing that lifestyle has a massive impact on our mental health. And there's a lot we can do to reduce our anxiety that doesn't require massive changes. We just need to take small steps, and these build up to bigger and bigger changes. So the first part of the book looks at how anxiety works, how the brain works, and how we can make these changes. And then we go on to more practical steps as to what we can actually do, because if you're anything like me, I've tried to make changes before, and the truth is I failed. I've tried to get to the gym every day and it didn't work. I just couldn't stick with it. And it's easy to say, well, I should have had more sticking power, but we don't, right? We give up on this stuff because it's really hard. And you start off with such good intentions, and I know I just do it relentlessly at the start, and then the longer it goes on, the novelty wears off. It gets harder to keep following through on my goals of exercising and diet and sleep and all this stuff. And then it just fades off, and eventually I give up, and I feel like a loser. I feel like a failure because I had to give up on this thing. In the book, we'll look at how we make these changes, and one step is that we just make them really small steps, right? So a lot of people, they get to New Year and they're like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym every day. And then they set off on this journey, and within maybe 2 weeks they've given up on it. So when I talk to people about New Year's resolutions, I say go 3 times a year, make that your target, because that's a target you can smash. And it sounds ridiculous, right? Oh yeah, I only have to go 3 times next year. But if you keep doubling that, well, 5 years down the line you're going to the gym every week, which is a respectable amount of time to work out. Now that sounds like ages, and in fact we don't aim to have changes in place over 5 years in the book. We do it much faster. But how many of us have spent, say, 10 years falling in and out of gym routines and never hitting that spot where we're going every week? So in the book we'll look about how to break these changes down into small steps, and how to use techniques and technology and strategies to make them stick. Because it's not that we don't know what we want to do, it's that we can't stick to it, and we don't have the strategies in place to make ourselves stick with it. So we'll look at all that in the book, and then finally we'll look at the 7 different aspects that affect our mental health, the 7 factors in our lifestyle. So those are exercise, diet, sleep, personal growth, relaxation, relationships, and community. So it's all about what we do physically, what we put in our bodies, how we take care of ourselves and treat ourselves in terms of are we mean to ourselves, do we beat ourselves up, or are we kind to ourselves and give ourselves some self-love, and how we interact with other people and build strong relationships with our family and friends. And for each one we'll go through and we'll look at the real evidence for each area, so that, you know, it's not just me making stuff up. There's, I think, 283 footnotes, citations I've got in this book, so that everything I say is really backed up with some scientific proof. So this will essentially give you a plan to make these lifestyle changes. So alongside whatever else you're doing, with your anxiety. You can attack it just by making these small changes. There's no rush. You can just go through each area of your life, see what really impacts your mental health, what is important, and you can make a plan. There's a whole section. It's the 6-stage plan for every time you want to take one of these small steps. And I know that's a terrible marketing number, like you should either go 5 or 7 or 10, those are the power numbers, right? But it takes 6 steps, and I don't want to make up stuff to make the process longer than it has to be. So 6-step process, you follow it through and you make the changes. So I'm really confident that this book is going to be a fun book, because making positive changes to your lifestyle is beneficial for a number of reasons. A lot of the other treatments for anxiety, that I think you should pursue those as well, but this is really nice because it's much more socially acceptable. Like, you can tell someone, oh, I'm starting a new gym routine or a new diet, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Whereas, as positive as I try to be about the state of mental health in society, the fact is that a lot of people feel uncomfortable going to their boss and saying, I'm going to be late in on Wednesdays because I'm at cognitive behavioural therapy. And there certainly isn't the kind of support and social acceptance that there is when you try and make a positive lifestyle change. And it's also side effect free, of course, although when you're at the gym you will feel the burn, hopefully. And it's a fun thing to do, right? Learning to relax, learning to give yourself some self-love, learning to really take care of yourself is a fun thing to do. And I say learning, but you already kind of know that you should be doing this stuff and what stuff you should be doing, right? It's that you need that strategy to put the plan in place and help you stick with it. And that's what this book will give you. It will give you that strategy to help you stick and finally achieve those positive lifestyle changes that you've always wanted to make. So that's an overview of the book. I think you'll really enjoy it. I think you'll really get a lot out of it. It's coming out really soon. Keep an eye. If you're on our newsletter, then you'll probably get the first sneak peek at it and probably a chance to buy it in the store before anyone else. So make sure you're subscribed to our Live Better newsletter, because that in itself will also help you make these lifestyle changes. We send that out every week. It's going to be a really positive book in terms of it's a practical book that will help you make changes, and I think that everyone reads it will get a lot out of it.